Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Spiritual Education. Let's discuss the subsequent development of our civilization from a spiritual perspective and the actions that humanity might take in order to leave behind this madness that our society is going through in current times. From quantum physics, we know that there is an endless amount of alternative realities of a single individual's lifetime which are happening simultaneously. A particular life story is being created based on decisions and reactions made by an individual in response to different situations, either elevating or degrading the consciousness, which shifts the path to higher or lower frequency levels, affecting the future outcome. The concept of time is not applicable for the parallel realities. Accordingly, all the possible realities do coexist at the same time. Yet what differentiates, separates, or creates a veil between one reality from another is the vibrational frequency or density that it exists upon, having sort of hierarchy from low frequencies to high. Watch my video on vibrational levels. According to a channeled work, The Law of One, human beings are currently existing in a third density, but now evolutionary development of the planet is shifting to a fourth density. This process started in 2012, where humans as the children of the earth are able to shift dimension as well, if matching the higher frequency level of a new earth. To do so, we have to make sure we live a virtuous life, follow our excitement, and not act from a place of fear. Only developed personal connection with the higher self can lead to fulfillment of the life purpose, which for the majority of us is the ability to share unconditional love through the act of service to the world and to purifying oneself to reach transcendence. Watch my video on how to raise your frequencies. Bible story tells us that humans were banished from a higher vibrational reality or Garden of Eden into a more dense dualistic reality, a third density of a constant steering of good and evil. It also tells multiple stories throughout the history of mankind, repeatedly rebelling and betraying God, being distorted and controlled by negative forces, where God is patiently hoping that each of us individually can find the way back to the higher realms by reaching enlightenment or spiritual awakening. It's always been available for humans, but now as we are already existing in fourth density, it's only the matter of opening up our minds, because your belief system is what dictates your reality, as well as making sure that your current vibrational state, which depends on the quality of your thoughts, actions, and emotional state, is matching a higher frequency reality you are going to experience. This shift is happening collectively, or as a large group of those with matching vibrational state, yet it has to be achieved through an individual or personal practice of self-development and meditation, because only through diving within we can find love, unity, and peace. Negative forces that work in opposition to positively charged energy or source energy or God are standing behind the scene of the world as we currently know it. Those are entities or energy collectives, often from lower vibrational realities, that are creating a unifying field of a certain emotion that drags us down from elevating our consciousness. Vadim Zeland, in his book Reality Transurfing, calls this phenomena the power of pendulums, which he explains as energy structures or a group of emotional energy patterns. Channeler Abraham Hicks calls this energy vortexes that have an existence on its own, imposing goals that defines our world and has control over any individual who is consciously or unconsciously puts their energy into this idea, movement, or group. For example, political parties, sport teams, religions, national or corporate movements, etc. The more followers the movement has, or the more people are involved into this concept mentally, emotionally, or physically, the more powerful it becomes, feeding off our attention. In other words, the energy we invest into the vortex or pendulum, mentally, physically, or emotionally, takes more and more control over our thoughts and behavior. Pendulums or energy vortexes can be constructive or destructive, where constructive vortexes is anything that elevates the mind, body, and soul of your own self and others, improving the quality of life, in tune with nature, raising our vibrations, and getting us closer to the source energy. For example, health awareness movements like physical disciplines, meditation, nutrition, as well as arts, science, being in service to nature, etc., those could be considered as positive or beneficial for our well-being vortexes. In opposition, we have destructive vortexes, which represent anything that we commonly consider as bad, something that drains our energy instead of fulfilling and elevating the consciousness. For example, politics that creates borders and spread the idea of separation and fear, or big corporations that destroy nature and harm living beings, such as farming industry, alcohol, tobacco produce, or gas and oil corporations. Basically, the reality manifests itself through these vortexes that gain its power through drawing the energy from having our attention. So every time you are actively interested or engaged in a negative information or emotionally responding to negative news, you subconsciously draw this energy into your life and make this vortex stronger and bigger, even if you physically don't take any actions. That's what media and news are hardly working on, by spreading fear and making us participate in all these horrors that are taking place in the world by solely making us think about it. Doesn't mean that you have to ignore the problem, but try to simply observe and stay indifferent without being emotionally involved, which gives you true freedom and power of choice without manifesting obstacles on the way to your dream and spreading evil and tragedy in the world. By accepting and transmitting negative energy, we create our own hell. By accepting and transmitting positive energy, we create our own heaven. Metaphysics and spiritual teachings have been proving the power of the focus of consciousness for ages. Then why in current times of extreme separation and spread of fear we don't put our attention on creating a new, peaceful world that works in balance with nature and for the sake of humanity, but not against us? It all comes down to what you decide to focus your attention upon, where you choose your energy to flow. And the way not to drain your energy to negative vortexes that condition our life, mood, and the character is to be in the present moment, in focusing your attention on constructive thoughts that improve the quality of your life and life of others around you. Being emotionally involved in destructive events can never make any change in the world, but will make it even stronger, feeding off your invested energy. A lot of people in the past were trying to fight for human rights, where some succeeded to change the path of history of mankind to some positive outcome, but never led to an actual liberation of humanity as a race. But in this time, waiting for someone to save us is not going to work. We are given a special opportunity to shift the dimension in co-creation with the planet by finding salvation within oneself, which is an individual path of personal inner work. Try not to judge the political movements, economic situation, medical care, or anything you can possibly judge in this situation, but simply watch it as a big play happening in front of your eyes. Being emotionally detached, especially letting go of fear, as it is the main block from self-development. In other words, allowing it to happen because it's not about changing things, as all the potential possibilities are already happening in parallel realities anyways. Simply being observant of what's going on around without an emotional attachment. Being independent in your thoughts and beliefs because the ultimate truth is always within. Once you're free from pendulum's influence, you are able to take control over your own life track, becoming in tune with laws of nature, developing your own intuition or inner voice that will guide and protect you on a timeline of your greatest potential or highest good, where you unconditionally love yourself, what you do, and others, becoming that change that you would like to occur in the world. This is the Buddhist concept of non-attachment or renunciation, which means giving up the world and leading a holy life, or being free from lust, craving, and desires, which are energy vortexes on its own. Abraham Hicks words it as taking the path of less resistance. It's about evolving to a new evolutionary step through an individual work, yet as one with everything. In other words, persistently directing your attention onto personal development, which includes physical detoxification, emotional purification, and open-mindedness, together with accepting the concept of unity, knowing that everything is connected, all is one is all, as above so below. You are in the universe and the universe is in you. As these concepts are the nature of a higher frequency dimension that a human being who accepts it is ready to evolve into. But be aware of not putting a desperate importance into any concept or idea in life, even your biggest dreams and desires, because that tension will manifest as a strong opposite balancing force that will go against your strictly desired plan, which doesn't mean not to dream or move towards a life track that you wish for yourself, but simply don't be too radical and obsessed about it, because this is the resistance that creates obstacles on your way and does not allow you to move towards your goal easily. Liberating your own self from within is happening through breaking down old mental paradigms, getting rid of emotional storage, opening your heart, establishing strong faith in the power of God within your own self, and becoming that light, living life beyond limitations, believing in your quantum powers. This process is called enlightenment, samadhi, or spiritual awakening, and it starts with staying away from intoxicants like alcohol and drugs, as well as toxic people, toxic places, and not experiencing toxic emotions, especially fear and resistance. You can learn more about it from this video. To open your mind for higher density, you have to accept that there is no good and evil. In other words, all the evil that is happening is still God's creation. The dualistic reality that we're currently experiencing is energetically dense, low frequency, pretty violent illusion of separation. You can notice it by observing nature. Everything is constantly fighting for life, existing in a survival mode. This is the dance of yin and yang energy, good and bad, light and dark. In order to shift dimension, we have to shift the concept of perceiving reality. Let go of the belief in the dualistic nature and accept the concept of unity that all is one and one is all. Allow yourself to let go of any judgment feelings, as there is no difference or separation, except the belief that everything in the physical world is made of atoms, which are energy particles, or light or love. So everything is united and everything is energy, which is consciousness. So we are all responsible for a well-being of all that is around by unfolding personal endless potential through connection with God. Visualize the bright future for yourself and others in details without expectations. Meditate to develop connection with the higher self. Repeat positive affirmations to program yourself to greater achievements, as this is the only way we can enter a better world, moving to the next evolutionary step collectively. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Don't forget to put like and subscribe to my channel for new videos on spiritual education. Thank you so much for watching.